didn't have any big financial backing and cushioning. I didn't have any of that. So if somebody just gave me like, here, take 5 crores and do whatever you want, that would have been great. But I was in a position where I didn't have that choice. I had to do this. I didn't know better. I didn't know, okay, somebody can give me this much money and then I can just do a bunch of ads and spend a lot on acquiring customers. That was not my, I couldn't even think that. I had to start small also because I'm alone. I'm alone doing this. I don't have co-founders or anyone. It's just me.
Pallavi. So Pallavi is the founder of Nila. So Nila is a coffee brand that serves a wide range of coffee from the estates of Mangalore, estates of Chikmagalur to your doorsteps. But more about it, Pallavi is here along with us to share her story. So Pallavi, I would want to know a bit about you. Where are you from? Why you started this particular brand?
So I'm from Mangalore and I was born here, but I grew up in Bangalore and then I moved around a little bit and I've finally come back home to Bangalore now. Before all of this happened, I was in Gurgaon actually. I was with Zomato for a few years. I was working with them actually in the Bangalore office when Zomato was like really small back then. Nobody knew what it was. And then I moved to Gurgaon to the head office and
Zomato.
then yes, I continued with them in the head office. Then after Zomato, after a few years, then I started doing like a little bit of consulting for smaller startups and things like that. And then COVID hit, and I figured this was a good time to leave Gurgaon and come back home. And I just wanted to be somewhere that felt like home, and just had to come back here. And yes, then I continued doing small gigs, working from here. It's hard to get remote jobs from, it started getting quite hard to get remote working jobs. Then one time, I think I was at this crossroads of figuring out what to do. The whole idea of looking for a job became a little daunting. I just couldn't get myself to do it. And yeah, and then that's when Nila kind of happened. But it also happened because my brother-in-law and sister, they are in Chikmagalur and they have their estate over there. They grow their coffee. And I've been drinking that coffee for 12, 13 years. And he had always told me, do something. We do this. He does wholesale of his coffee. So he said, I'm doing this. Why don't you do something with it? He doesn't have a brand or anything. And that thought just stayed in my mind. I thought, me and business, and there's no way I can do anything. But I think this was me. I was almost at rock bottom without work and figuring out what to do in life. And I was already in my 40s. And I thought, okay, I need to do something quick. And I thought, it's one of those things when you are at that stage, almost rock bottom, this is when you can do everything and anything. You have nothing to risk. What are you risking? Nothing. And that's when I began, Nila started then. So this was my brother-in-law, filter coffee basically. It started from that idea of filter coffee. I do have a few other products now, like my homemade chili oil and stuff, which they're like secondary in my product line. But yes, the main focus being coffee, which comes from Chikmagalur estates. One is the filter coffee that comes from my brother-in-law's estate, and from a nearby estate, I also get instant coffee. So even my instant coffee is also single estate. Yeah, so that's how it is. And I'm slowly expanding into specialty coffee as well now.
Interesting story. So when you say that was like you were in the figuring out phase and you wanted to bring this whole brand into action, like there's an idea, like there's an opportunity for you where you have to make this something out of your own and then you have your own ideas and then you put them together to make it a brand.
Y-
How were your initial days like in terms of building Nila, like the first 3 months? How did you go from the ideation part to the execution part until maybe like having those first 30, 40 customers? If you could walk us through.
Yeah, so for me, I think I was at a big advantage where about when it comes to branding and marketing and all of that, because I was with Zomato at the time where we could learn everything. And whatever I know today is probably because I spent that much time there. And I did quite a few things there, but I think towards the end of my journey in Zomato, I was at the marketing table. I used to be there. I used to handle some blogs and stuff. So I would watch the marketing team in action in terms of work and all of that. And that's where a lot of my knowledge came from, about product placement, how do you, about customers, about users, and all of these things. And the first few months was pretty much trying to figure out how I would place my product in the market, because there are plenty of coffee brands, and
You
it
mean
not enough
positioning?
positioning is, because there are plenty of brands out there and all of them claim to be the best and all of that. But I think today a USP is doesn't mean anything anymore. What can you say? Like how can like 100 coffee brands have each one have their own unique selling point? It's not that like coffee is coffee in the end. Of course, there's good and bad. There are different grades and ranges of coffee. But yes, it's all about trying to find the right fit, market fit for Nila coffee. I was just doing that. Then I figured that there is this spectrum where at on one end you have this extremely high end specialty coffee where people take their own time, and there's a lot of things going on to brew one cup of coffee, right? And it's quite intimidating. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have your 2 rupee sachet instant coffees that leave a bad taste, literally a bitter aftertaste in your mouth, which people don't care about, really don't care about. And it's looked down upon because of that. Those kind of coffees have made it hard for instant coffee to get any respect, to be honest. They're still looked down upon. So somewhere I felt that I needed to position my coffee as something that isn't that intimidating, and it isn't something to be dismissed as well. So something, let's say for an instant coffee drinker to feel good about what they're drinking and not feel, okay, this isn't like up to mark, or I'm not supposed to drink instant coffee. It's not cool, that sort of thing. So that's where I think my brand came to fit in the market. Yeah.
Interesting. And how did you go about getting those first customers? First 20, 30
Yeah.
customers.
I think besides people I know, right, and talk about absolute strangers, because of I think the little network that I had maybe on Instagram, of everyone has an Instagram account these days. So I think that helped me a lot launch my first few products and gain on those first few customers, is because people saw my journey way before Nilla started. My food was predominantly food and cooking and baking, even coffee and a lot of things like that. So I think the first few customers were also the kind of people who wanted to be a part of something. You want to support a small business. You want to be a part of someone's journey. And they all
Mm-hmm.
are. I think I know most of my customers by name. I can quickly register like where this person is from. Especially those few customers, I completely believe that they wanted to be a part of something. And back then when I started, I didn't have a website or I didn't have any of that. It just came through Instagram and WhatsApp, and no money was spent on ads, nothing. Purely organic, on their own, word of mouth, the very old school way. And
Do you believe in that more than how brands are taking it right now? Most of the brands now, when they want to launch their own product or whatever that is brand, let's say, they would want to go either route where, hey, you know what, we need to sell 100 pieces. This is the ad budget. This is how we are growing. Okay, this is one way, like quick way. And other way is I'll take my own time. I'll go organic. I'll do the heavy lifting out there. And meanwhile, I'll just improve the product, take feedbacks and all of that. How do you see that?
so now that depends on what you want out of it. Are you looking to get there quickly, or are you okay to go the slow and steady way? I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just that didn't have any big financial backing and cushioning. I didn't have any of that. So if somebody just gave me like, here, take 5 crores and do whatever you want, that would have been great. But I was in a position where I didn't have that choice. I had to do this. I didn't know better. I didn't know, okay, somebody can give me this much money and then I can just do a bunch of ads and spend a lot on acquiring customers. That was not I couldn't even think that. In that moment, I couldn't think of those things. I had to start small also because I'm alone. Alone doing this. I don't have co-founders or anyone. It's just me. So I had to make my mistakes were mine and I had to learn from them. If I wouldn't have started like this, I don't think I would have learned this much about the business, about even coffee or anything. I wouldn't have learned anything. It would have been easier, I assume, if I had all that money to spend on acquiring customers. One is not better than the other. Maybe those brands are probably going to be more established quicker than I would, than a Nila would, I assume, because they get to be in front of a wider, larger audiences in a shorter amount of time. Then for me, it's going to take time for me to do that. So that's the difference. And I think even if I go back in time, I would still go this way because I could get to interact with customers directly. Like they would place an order, like you would place an order with me directly. I would interact with you. And soon after you try the coffee, you then come back and tell me, hey, I tried and it was this. They would talk to me about it. A personal connection was there. And I still say like around 25% or more are of my customer base are repeat customers. They come back over and over again. And a lot of them have been there since the beginning. And it is also because of the foundation that was built. It sounds like a tedious thing, but it's very important, I think. Like for me, it was very important.
Interesting. So your retention is pretty much sorted in terms of
Very
having the
important.
relation.
Yes, I'm very happy about that. For me, it still is that just try, just give Nila a shot. I am certain that you may come back. I'm certain you'll come back at some point. That's what I keep telling people. And my goal is to have, I'm not saying, okay, I'm the best and just like I'm right up there. No, I'm as good as the best, whoever is there in the market today. And given how coffee drinkers are not the kinds who will just stick to one brand at all, if you open up like their pantries, you'll find a bunch, like at least like five, 3 to 5 to 7 brands are there. They want to try different kinds to different days. So I'd love to be a part of that group. Like, Nila would, nice. It's nice to have my package out there. That's what I, no big ambition. It's just that I want to be just there. Yeah.
Interesting. So when you started getting customers and you mentioned about Instagram, what was the story that you were telling to your audience, or what were the kind of content formats that you were using that was bringing them in to buy that from you?
Sure. So I think what I did in the beginning when I didn't have any social media support in terms of creating content, today I have a freelance person who helps me out with this. But back then I didn't have anyone. So I had to do everything with my phone and do whatever I could. What I did was I just made I just made coffee. I just kept making coffee. I had the packaging behind me. I made different recipes in coffee. There are so many things you can do with coffee, right? Like you go to a cafe, you find like a list of things that they have with coffee, right? So I started replicating these things at home very easily. So I basically showed ease of making the coffee and how basically the experience of making it and drinking it is it's going to be that for someone. I think for me, what I thought was the idea behind it was to show you, the user, the experience of Nila. So the experience of having the coffee and making the coffee. That's what came through ideas for a lot of people. Just looking at the product, looking at the coffee being made. I think sometimes you think, okay, I just want to have it. I think it's the same mentality of when we watch TV shows or like we watch Netflix and we watch maybe a group of friends like getting together eating burgers. You just want to have a burger at that point. It's one of those things when you see something you want it in that moment. Sometimes that works. So yeah.
So it's more of like you're doing DIY video, ASMR sort of video with coffee, and
Yeah.
then like people wanted to be a part of
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. Showing it to be like really simple and just if I can make it so simply when you can make it as well, that sort of thing. Then I did move on to different things. I started sharing stories of myself. I started featuring in myself in these videos, which I'm not a fan of, but I know I have to do it. It's much better to have a face to the brand for people to see who is behind it, what is she doing, and her background, and all of that. That did help. That did get some traction on social media as well. Yeah.
I've been hearing about this a lot lately. The founder is like the pillar. Without the founder face, there's no brand. How important do you feel that is, like out of 100%?
It is important, but it's not everything. I
Okay.
don't think I don't need to shove myself down people's throats saying, I am here, I am here. It shouldn't become about the founder. It's not about me. It's still about the brand. I'm just there maybe showing you the way or telling you what this is about. It shouldn't turn into the spotlight shouldn't be on me. It's not because we have to remember it's not me. It's my product has to talk. It's my product. It's not me. I think one might get carried away with thinking that it's me. It shouldn't become about yourself. It's good to have, you need to know why you have to be the founder and the face of the brand or your product. It's just so people know that there is a real person behind this. There is a story behind your product and why you're there. What are you doing? It's to connect with people, and that that helps build trust in many cases. So for me, it definitely did build trust. Even if people didn't see me regularly on videos, they on WhatsApp when I would take orders, or on Instagram I would take orders. It's me. I'm talking to them. I didn't talk to them like a team. We will do this for you. We will. It's me. It's just me. I'm the founder. I'm doing everything. I will send your package, and that kind of helped build up people. So being the founder and being the face is important for to build trust, basically. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. And when it came to scaling, what were your strategies like in terms of, let's say, initially those were the known people who were ordering, but then later on it grew to strangers. And then you might as well wanted to go a bit more bigger in terms of scaling or order value or amount of orders that you were getting in. What were some of the things that you were doing along the way in order to scale it gradually?
Yeah. Yes, it has been very gradual. Because why gradual? Because like I said, learning was a lot. I still had to learn a lot. This was just me. I'm a first timer in all of this. I'm new to everything. So I have to learn a lot, and the slow pace helped me understand things better. And to scale, I would say I haven't scaled to that extent as when I'm still 1 year into this. But what I've been doing is I've been trying to slowly do things outdoors, to have a lot of outdoor activities, like have pop-ups wherever there are, let's say in this city itself, wherever there are certain events that would draw a lot of people in, I'd have a pop-up there. Or
Does
even
that
right
help?
now, some
Pop-ups do
it
work?
it works. It works because people begin to recognize your brand. They at least are aware that there is this brand. They are curious. So always a lot of curiosity.
How do you go about measuring if that pop-up was a good one or not? Is it the metrics are related to sales itself, or what are some of the metrics you keep in mind when you take a booth or something at a marketplace and then show up there?
Yeah. So one is I do a little bit of research as to who's organizing it and what kind of events do they do. And I directly ask them also, is this a good fit for me? Do you think, like for a Nila, like a brand like Nila, is this a good fit? And expect like them to give me like real answers, whether has coffee worked before or have they had coffee before in their events. And I also ask number of people, like the footfall. I want to know. I want to know the kind of people coming in. Is it a student heavy crowd? Is it a working people heavy crowd? Is it the common man who's coming in? I want to know that. And the location matters a lot. If it's in a mall, it's different. If it's a night market, it's different. If it's in a co-working space, I recently had one there, it's going to be different. So each place has its own thing, right? Sales will happen in a far more crowd. It's like a mall does really well in terms of sales. Very focused events. There was a women's group here, like a business group. So I put up a stall there. That did well. Like women were curious about other women entrepreneurs and finding out about the brand. They started. How I could measure later on was that I meet other people outside. Oh, I remember this lady bought this from you and she told me I need to buy it. So where can I get it from? That's how I would see those kind of reactions too. But one of the sweetest reactions was at a stall itself. There's a little girl who came up to me and said, "My mom bought this thing from you and she puts it in my food and, bought the chili oil." So people tend to remember and come back. And that has helped me establish myself as a brand a little. Somebody else says, "Oh, yeah, I've seen you. I think I've seen your brand on Instagram." And that's enough. I know that people are recognizing, and that's important. That's why outdoor is also very important because we get so sucked into this online world, this digital marketing and everything. We forget there's a world outside. And for people to connect what they see online is also very important. And that's why I've learned that it's necessary to be outdoors as well. And there's a sense of legitimacy also for people to see a physically presence of brands outside. Yeah.
Someone coming from like complete digital space, didn't it feel hard in the beginning in order to go offline and do something of that sort? Because I believe as a marketer, for me, it's more convenient when I am with my laptop and there's no one to bother when I'm in coffee. Yeah. But when it comes
Exactly.
to interacting with people, going offline and on the streets, Not streets, but still
Okay,
out
yeah,
there.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a bit daunting. Yeah. How was
Exactly. So
that
that's
experience for you?
so just what you said, it's very comfortable to sit in front of the laptop and just feel like the world is right there with you. In a way, it is, but in a few ways, it isn't. It was scary in the beginning because I myself, I am an introverted person. I don't enjoy just like chatting people up. It's not in my nature at all. I would hide anywhere. I don't like attention on me at all. So for me to be there and talk to people, get people to try something, it was crazy in the beginning. It was just unbelievable. But I started enjoying the process a lot. I started enjoying talking to people, explaining what is what. And you know why? Because you can actually see the person's face. You can see how they are reacting to you and how they directly come and talk to you. They'll come and say, I like your branding. I'll come back and buy something. That the little things like that make a huge difference because I'm not getting to see, I may do, yeah, these targeted meta ads. So it's reaching 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 people. But I don't know what they're thinking and they're feeling. At the most, what they come and buy. I get it, they'll buy. But this human interaction which I think is priceless. You really can't put a price on it. You start learning to enjoy the process and to get real time feedback and real time everything from people right there.
Interesting. If you had to give 5 tips for a new founder who wants to build a brand of their own, what would they be?
Okay. No order. It's just a random order.
Right.
One is start building well brand. Start
You
doing
mean the
that. You
founder
want
has to be on the socials?
yes, and not just as the products. I can't just be there as Nila's founder. I am a person. I have my own interest. I have my own thing going on. Show who you are as well a little bit. So build that as well. Show because people want to see you miss that in this whole digital world of us. We miss the human side of people. You don't get to see a lot of that. So build your own personal brand. Be it on Instagram or any other platform. Just build that. So people just come and look at who you are. So even like on Instagram, on Nila's Instagram, I have my okay founded by so and so, right? So they come here. Or on my Instagram, personal Instagram, I have founded of Nila. So they're both linked and they both work for each other. So I would say build your personal brand. People want to see who you are. If you're a new founder, it helps a lot. That is one. Secondly, find a product that you love. Whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to launch soon, you're going to start soon. Find one product in that. Have a hero product to start off with. You may have a bunch of things, but find a hero product to launch with. I think that really helps you build the brand, build the product as well. And as you scale and as you add more products to your product line to your brand, your hero is product is going to have all of them also settle in. People tend to come back more and more for that hero product also. So that is a good thing to do. And yes, like we just spoke about offline activities, any kind is okay. Even just going out there, if you open Instagram, you see a lot of people doing a lot of outdoor stuff now. And that's the funny thing. You get to see this online itself as to what people are doing offline. Very interesting things come around. Some are very extreme, like they try to get a lot of attention with like big things, big colorful things going on. Or like these kind of pop-up markets, or go to, like I said, some corporate spaces. In person, try to maybe do something like outside. It helps as well. Then don't like stress about revenue in the beginning. Don't have that eat you up. See, I'm still there. I'm a year in and I'm still it's a bug that this thing keeps bugging you, but it's not something that you should go all up because if you're going to stress on the revenue part, you're not going to be able to build. You're not going to be able to scale. You're going to be scared of doing more things. You'll be stuck there. That's the loop you're going to be stuck at. That, oh, I need to make more, I need to make more, I need to make more. But you will do more. Do all these other things, right? Do all these other activities, your own branding, your outdoor stuff. Right? Like for me, I need to get into retail spaces. I need to get into corporate spaces. I need to do other, even B2B stuff. If I start focusing on all that, this will slowly increase. Your revenue will grow with other parts. So growing other parts of your business as well. So I've seen, yeah, that helps. What else?
You told
This
4.
one.
I've been counting. Yeah, you're counting.
Yeah. I think don't miss an opportunity to talk about your stuff. You are the best marketer of your product. I think wherever you go, I keep trying to think of how can I talk about Nila without talking about Nila, like without kind of doing that. Don't be overbearing to people, but in just so I talk less about the brand, but I start talking about coffee. Then people are interested. And then you slowly segue into, okay, this is what I do and that sort of thing. Find clever ways of doing that. Like I'm thinking of carrying small, I don't do these little sachets per se. I don't do those, but I do a sampler pack of 5 50-gram packs in one box. So those little packs, I'm thinking of, let me carry them in my bag wherever I go. And I'll have the little brand thing, but I'll also have a QR code for people to, that should be my business card or whatever. Things like that. Just do things. Everything should be revolving around.
Interesting. This is interesting. The last part which you
Yeah.
mentioned, instead of going with the
Yeah.
musty card, rather go with a small pack of yours and carry along with that have a QR code. I mean,
And
because
everyone does
I've
that.
seen, yeah, I have seen a
Yeah.
lot lately, but then those are more of sample, just try it and thing. But then, yeah, interesting. New thing that I learned.
Something for people to come back to.
True.
Anything you do, even like cards, let's say at events, right? You get a lot of material. You get a lot of reading material. But I'm going to throw away a card. So I'd rather do like a bookmark and have some funny or interesting thing written in front, and the back will have a QR code and just not too much, not in your face. Someone will use a bookmark. I don't think people
True.
just toss away or throw away a bookmark. Something like that. That is one aspect. It could be anything else also. Anything that people use today. So something for people to use also.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. That's pretty much I had to ask you today, Pallavi. Thank you for taking out your time, talking to our audience. And I loved listening to your story, and I hope like you ace it in the coming years. Anyways.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's fun talking to you.